Good evening, class. Hope everybody's doing well. I've received a few questions through course messages about tutorials and some of the data files. So, I wanted to take this opportunity to create a quick video explaining what exactly is expected in the tutorials. So, this class we have 4 major modules. One module for each Microsoft Office application. We begin with Word, we'll move into Microsoft Excel, and then we will then move on to PowerPoint, and then lastly Microsoft Access. So each of those modules has between 3 and 4 units associated with them. The first module, Microsoft Word, has Unit C, Unit D, Unit E, and Unit F. In each of those units, with the exception of Unit C because it's an introductory unit, has an associated data file that is provided with the textbook for you to complete your tutorials. So the data files are located in 2 spots in Blackboard. You can access the files from either place. It doesn't matter. The files are the same. The first place, which I would probably recommend pulling them from, under assignment files, you have a link, click assignment files, and once the page loads, which it should load in just a second, you will see data files and student guidelines. You'll see a link for a zip file, CIS 146 data files .zip. You can download all the zip all the data files for the class from this zip folder. You click the link, and it'll take a minute because it's a large file. And once the folder opens, you can download and extract those data files. Alright, so now we're waiting on Blackboard to download these files. And let's see, open. And we're waiting for it to download. 46, 49%, 63%, 88, 95, and files downloaded. We're waiting on a security scan. Excuse me. And we should have a folder that pops up with all of our data files in it in just a second. Okay, so you've got Unit C through F, which is the first unit, Microsoft Word, so you can double click that folder. And what you'll notice is there are files that start with the unit letter D and are labeled D1 all the way through D5. We have Unit E, File 1 through E7, Unit F 1 through F7. So the important thing to remember here is that we are only going to use the first file in each unit. So for example, for Unit D, you will only use file D1. And that's because that file is the only file associated with the white pages of the tutorial that you're going to be working on. Okay? So, and that is pointed out specifically in your tutorial assignment. So let's jump over to the assignment page, and I'll kind of read through the instructions. I want to make sure everybody understands that. Don't want anyone spending any any time on something that's not required. So Microsoft Word assignments in that folder. Once it loads, you'll notice that the instructions say you will need your textbook in order to complete the assignment. The assignments are for Units C through F and can be found in your textbook under Unit C through F. Complete only the sections which are in the white pages of each unit. Okay? Do not complete any of the section in yellow pages at the end of each unit which are listed as practice, concepts review, skills review, or independent challenge. The data file you will need are also attached. Depending on which version of Windows you are using, you may need to extract the files. Usually you can save them to your desktop. Okay, the document contains the unit files. A link for downloading these files is in the back of your textbook also. All right, so those are the instructions. We're only going to focus on completing the work that is in the white pages of the unit, okay? And the white pages only requires the first data file for each unit. So for example, for unit D, we will need file D1, okay? Files D2, 3, 4, and 5, those are associated with the yellow pages in the back of the chapter, the back of the unit, and you will not need to do anything with those files, okay? Same thing for unit E. That is the only file that you will use for your tutorial, and you will begin the tutorial with the file that's given to you in the folder, and you will modify that file based on the instructions in that tutorial all the way through the end of the unit. And when you're done with that file at the end of the unit, that will be what you will save, and that will be what you submit. Very easy. Each unit, with the exception of unit C, and I believe it's unit M. There's 2 units in the textbook that do not have a data file listed or present in the folder that contains all the data files for the course, and that is because for those 2 units you're going to create your own data file. The book will have you start a file from scratch, and you will create the file yourself. Okay, there's 2 units. C is one of them, and I believe M is the other. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that's the case. You will notice when you get there, if you don't have a data file for that unit, then you'll know that yes, this is the one that I've got to create my own file. Okay, so 2 units don't have a data file listed in the that come with the textbook. All the other units have a data file. All the other units you're going to use the file that you're directed to use by the textbook should be the first file located in the data file folder for that unit. So for example, for the Word module, you're going to use file D1. File D1 will be used for unit D, E1 will be used for unit E, and F1 will be used for unit F. Okay. Alright. So once you open that file, modify that file, you finish the tutorial for that unit, you will save it. Then you'll move on to your next unit. Same thing. You'll start with the file as the textbook instructs you to. So in this case, our second unit would be unit E, and you would modify that file. You would save it once you've completed all the exercises in the unit. You would save that file, and you would move on to unit F. Same thing. You would open file F1. You would modify it based on the instructions in the tutorial, and then you would save it. And when you're done, you would create a zip file for unit C, which is going to be the data file that you'll create, unit D, unit E, and unit F. You would zip those together, and then you would submit those under the heading for the tutorial submission. You click the link, you wait for the page to load. Man, Blackboard's a little slow this evening, or maybe it's my computer. Okay, so the page finally loaded. You can see this is what it should look like. You'll have the assignment, and below you will have an option to browse to your computer. You'll click the Browse to Your Computer button. You will navigate to the zip file that you created that has your completed data files in it. Once you have selected the file and uploaded it, you will select Submit. Alright, so I click the Browse to My Computer button. I get a dialog box asking me to select my file. I would navigate to it. I would select it. I would click Open. In this case, I don't have a file to submit, so I'm just going to click Cancel. And then I would scroll to the bottom once I confirm my file is attached, and it'll be attached right here. You will see it, and then I would click Submit. Okay, so that's how data files and tutorials should be worked. You should always work the tutorials first because that's where you're going to learn the material that you're going to need to create or to complete your assignments. Always use a tutorial, or excuse me, always begin the tutorials first. Always work those the first thing you do. And you're always going to just use really just one data file per unit. You're going to modify that file from the beginning to the end of the unit in the white pages only. And then when you're done with that file at the end of the tutorial, you'll save it and that'll be what you'll submit. But you want to submit all of your tutorial files together for that particular module, in this case for Microsoft Word, and then upload it to Blackboard and submit it when you're done. Okay, so again, data files are found in two places. They're found under the assignment files link on the left hand menu of Blackboard. You can also find the data files pertinent to the tutorial assignment for that module located in the assignment, in the tutorial assignment for that module. So you can see here I've got another file that it contains just the data files for C through F. For Microsoft Excel, you'll have a link for the files that just pertain to the Microsoft Excel tutorial assignment, and so on and so forth. So I hope this has cleared things up. If it has not, please ask a question. Otherwise, good luck.